goons hit up through the lagoon on some cartoon shit. I say on my neck, I'm dripping. Weird drug in my drink, I'm sipping. Bitch, look how I'm dressing. All of y'all depressing. I'm just trying to see some motherfucking put her in the mosh pit.
I'll guess it correctly no matter what question you ask.
Okay.
This better be topical.
Here we go. What rapper, alongside vocals from Mos Def, Jadakiss, and Eminem, raps about 9/11 conspiracy theories on the song Bin Laden?
Okay, what's the roster here?
He did a song with Mos Def, Jadakiss, and Eminem.
Mos Def, Jadakiss, Eminem.
That sounds like something J-Tronica would do.
Ooh. Let's say Fabulous.
No, it was Immortal Technique.
Okay.
Who's one of the wokest rappers out there.
Alright, now give me a card.
Yeah.
Rapcast 58. This is what we're doing the whole time.
Strap in.
Okay, what murderous MC stumped for candidate Bernie Sanders during the 2016 presidential election?
Killer Mike.
I mean, that's Alex's forte.
Well, take a guess.
Okay, fine. Bernie Sanders. LP.
Alex is right, it's Killer Mike.
Yeah. I was gonna go with LP. I don't know.
Okay.
And every time you get a question right, you get one of these gushers
Okay.
that I got from the...
Those are going to be done in the next 5 minutes. That's my prediction.
Dude.
Here's a question. Riddle me this. Rapcast 58 listeners. What's different about this episode? You got our man Jay Pasty on cam. We've done it a few times before, but we're here talking about some topical things that we want to get Josh's opinions on.
Yeah.
Usually he's behind the curtain.
Yes, indeed.
Hidden away like the Phantom of the Rapcast opera.
It's November 30th while we're recording this. Like Josh said before, just in case, I'm Andrew. This is Alex on my right, Josh on the left. If you're listening on audio, you will not understand that. But if you're listening on video, go follow us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and all those fun things. Check out our TikTok and Twitter and Instagram at SuperFinger Inc. That's enough of that. Next episode will be the year-end wrap-up. Our top 10 lists, our worst, our best of everything. Albums, songs, videos.
It's gonna be a slog.
I'm not looking forward to it. So much editing will have to be done in so much time listening to music. But hey,
it's a cleansing experience.
Yeah.
Thinking back on the year, putting a couple things into perspective.
For sure.
We're moving forward in life.
You're moving out.
No more borrowing from mom for my high. Your boy is gonna be...
Now you're borrowing from your girlfriend.
Yep.
Speaking of cooking, Alk was in the kitchen cooking up some crazy beats, and we got a whole album of Earl and Alchemist. Yeah.
I think this album definitely certain things I didn't even get until I was reading through the lyrics. And
that's the case for most Earl albums. It's even the point where like this one I was like the first, not to get too ahead of ourselves, but like the first few listens I was like kind of underwhelmed because I'm like, oh man, like I just don't understand any of it, and I don't like I had to listen to it a lot and like look at the lyrics a bunch and like really sit with it for it to fully hit with me.
Yeah. I feel like I'm still not there yet. Like, just to get my sort of general thoughts on it off the bat, I don't really see myself returning to it that often. Not as much as like Sick or, especially not like some rap songs because I don't like that. But yeah, even like with Sick, there was a lot of. It wasn't his best project, but it was. It had enough variation to it.
He was trying a lot of different things. Not all of it hit, but like, and it didn't make for the most cohesive album. But it was your album of the year last year. And if you're a fan of this podcast, you know our opinions of Earl. We think he's one of the fucking goats, lyricists, and rappers of all time. Go back to the many times we reviewed his music.
He's my favorite rapper. He's what got me into rap, and he's still maintained consistently like that top spot.
Because we've reviewed Sick on the pod.
Yeah.
We must have did we touch on Feet of Clay, or was that pre-pod? That must have been pre-pod.
I think that was pre.
No, that was the first time we ever fully broke down a new...
Because we had an Earl Sweatshirt episode, no, where we went through his old discog, or did we even do that?
Yeah, we did.
We did.
Yeah, we did do a whole.
Oh, I think we did it on the
thing.
We did it on the same episode of Sick, maybe.
I don't know. I forget.
Someone else. Clearly, we're not the biggest fans of our own podcast to figure out what we did talk about and what we didn't talk about. Go listen to that Sick episode or Earl Sweatshirt wrap-up episode if you want any context of our feelings of Earl.
I'm just laughing out. This sweater does not fit. Sweater I bought in 2017
after the Brockhampton show, pre-Amir leaving, and the scandal that followed.
It was too small for me when I first bought it. I don't know why I ever rocked it.
And you tried to trade with me right after the concert.
Because you got the XL shirt. Yeah.
And thinking back, I should have made that. It probably would have been a better trade. I mean, I don't want the hoodie now. I have too many hoodies. But, like, I never really wear my saturation shirt because it's way too big.
Yeah. Somebody did notice me with the sweater, and it sparked up a conversation about Brockhampton once. So... But
it's a good way to meet other virgins.
He might have been hitting. He might have been hitting on me. I don't know.
Yeah, could be.
It's too many.
But we will talk about Brockhampton ex-members in a bit, as well as a bunch of other music: Lil Wayne, 2 Chainz, Danny Brown, Sampha, a few other things. So stay tuned for that. But we're gonna fucking crack this episode open with Earl and a big, just fucking gushy fucking nerd fest right here.
Yeah,
getting into it.
I think it suffices to say, my new favorite phrase, it suffices to say that we all liked this album and thought it was really good, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Josh seems to be a little bit not as much.
Yeah,
go ahead.
I was just going to say, because, like, as a huge Earl fan, I hold him to a higher standard than other rappers, and so therefore I was a bit disappointed in this one.
Well, I think there's a few reasons for that. Another one could be because, like, it's Alchemist and Earl Sweatshirt, like, a long sought-after project that they had, like, teased before, and they had a whole thing where it was, like, Alchemist was, like, on some Twitter spree being like, oh, the album's out on YouTube, you just gotta find it, like, it's not under any of our names, like, it's really impossible to find. And, like, no one found it, then this came out. It's still not confirmed if this is the same album.
Right.
I'm leaning towards it not... I'm leaning to it being, like, that was an album they recorded, like, in 2016, or whatever, in 2017. And then this is a whole new body of work.
I don't really know all the backstory because there was a whole first version of this album that came out only on his website.
And it was like some weird NFT. It was like, you could stream the album for free on the website like a few weeks before it came out on platforms, which I did the one time. But in order to download it, you had to like purchase it, like, and then it came with the fucking like little GIF picture thing. Which is like a cool enough, it's cool art design and shit. It's like the same design as like the cover or whatever, but it's like not. It was very strange.
Yeah.
And then there was 3 songs on that original version that were cut, that are going to be on the vinyl that you can get online. I'm eyeing it. I do want it.
The rollout, it was a little bit like I don't really like it when you get something and it's not the real,
not complete,
not the official thing.
Kanye's done it too much in the past few years for it to,
Is that, except this time they didn't make you pay $200 for a fucking
the stem player.
For a stem player,
yeah.
But you guys are still all using your stem players every day, right?
Yeah. I forget. Did you get a stem player?
No.
Okay, I was gonna say I think Adam got a stem player.
Yeah.
Shout out Little Deeg. Last episode we talked about Drake and shit. He was on there.
Oh yeah. Shout out.
Like, aren't you ever listening to a track and you're just like, I want to take the vocals out?
Like, that's such a niche. Like, only musicians need that.
Yeah.
Like, or other producers or whatever.
And I guess later
there's like free alternatives to that.
100%. And I guess later we will also be talking about new Kanye West. So. There'll be a whole problematic section of the pod that we'll section off. And
Josh will be off screen for that.
This new album, for my initial impressions, like at first, like I was saying before, like it was a little bit disappointing. The song sounded a bit samey, like I couldn't quite differentiate. And it's still a little bit hard even when I hear them, because it, like with Sick there was a lot of variety. Feet of Clay I don't really go back to all that much anymore. And some rap songs, for whatever reason, like just really hit with me at the time, even though it's not too much. This new stuff isn't too much different in terms of sonically.
Yeah, some rap songs is the most in a specific sound, but it all works. Like, it doesn't sound too samey.
And it all sounds so like cohesive, and it blends into a story. and all like thematically, and it's the most dense I find.
Yeah. Whereas this album isn't like there's definitely deep shit involved with it, and there's a lot to look into that we'll talk about. But it's also not the most like. It's almost kind of a mixtape in a way in terms of like it seems like it's a bunch of random songs that they made, right?
That pretty much.
I don't know. I don't know if I really agree with that. I think that the sequencing is done really well, and I think that not everyone is always used to the Alchemist style of an album. I mean, you have to remember that he gets the top billing along with Earl Sweatshirt, so it's as much about the way that he wants to present the story as it is about Earl's writing.
Yeah.
I think I was like a little bit more positive about it, although there were certain songs where it's just his cryptic lyricism. You don't really quite. It takes a long time to really figure out like what he's exactly talking about.
Which warrants repeated listens and sometimes can make an album like more stand the test of time in a sense, or it could just detract from it completely.
Yeah, but I think you can still take out these lines that are just like philosophical gems that you can just like. There's lyrics in the album about like if you put the time in and make it gold, then it will last forever because people will always be coming back and learning more, And I appreciate that type of music as well, that takes a while and you don't necessarily, you might not even appreciate it until years down the line.
That's the thing, like, definitely. That's why, like I was saying before, to finish up the thought, like, I didn't really fuck with it all that much at first, like, it seemed, like, too samey, all that kind of stuff, and then, because I've been listening to it, like, nonstop for, like, a few months now, and because this album came out, like, September or something, like, early October,
like,
late September, something like that.
Yeah.
So we've had the luxury of time for it to really sit with me and for me to fully appreciate it, and now I think it's a fantastic album, and I love almost everything about it. I'll say
there are certain songs, they took me a little bit longer.
Yeah, and certain things and bars and songs I'm still like confused about, or still like up in the air about what it really means.
I wanted to set that up because like right away when I started kind of writing notes on it, it was much different than reviewing an album from some rapper that I kind of...
Like a Drake.
Yeah, it's much different than doing a Drake album where I'm thinking, ooh, weird, questionable choice here. What was that line? Yeah. This, that, like... This
That's almost easier in a way, versus this where it's like, okay, you really have to think about it. Like,
it's... a
whole afternoon set aside.
Reviewing it is different, for sure. And it's because you feel like you're closer to the subject as well.
Yeah.
I feel like I know who Earl Sweatshirt is more so than I could ever understand who Kanye or Drake is, or
they're so like on a whole other.
They've made themselves so unhuman by them being such famous superstars.
Yeah, Earl
seems like a down to earth guy that I kind of know, and we kind of got to grow up with him in a way.
For sure.
Yeah.
Did you guys watch that, it was on Complex, a Goat Talk thing with Alchemist and Earl? They traded questions back and forth. It's pretty funny, and it was like, oh, great, like, I haven't seen Earl do, like, an interview, kind of like having fun like this in a while,
There was a moment in that where I was kind of losing my shit, because Earl was talking about how he got obsessed with the shoebill horn bird. Yeah. And I was early on that tip.
I remember that,
okay, give me my respect.
Yeah. Well, you also had the horned animals was a whole thing for you.
There's I've been following some interesting animals on online, okay? And, that's like the scariest bird that you've ever seen.
Absolutely terrifying. It looks like it knows when you die. You know what I mean? Like, it can predict your death.
Man.
Yeah. But to have like a whole yard full of them, and just have them attack your enemies,
it's terrifying.
You could ride around on a blimp.
If we can control the power,
it's scarier than like having a room full of tigers. Honestly, it's somehow scarier.
Because like tigers, like all right, it's gonna fuck you up. The shoebill, what was shoehorn? What was it called?
It does like psychic.
The
damage,
shoebill horn.
Shoebilled stork or something like that.
Something like that. Yeah.
It's like you don't know what it's gonna do, so it's just like it's way scarier in that way.
Anyway, enough about birds.
Little animal fucking segment, animal talk segment.
We were talking about how Earl's down to earth,
and he seems to be in a better place than he was on Sick, especially on some rap songs and Feet of Clay, which is always good to see from we want to see our boys happy and thriving.
Yeah, and what are your opinions on like the sound of his flows and his developing style? Because I think that it's maturing into a different place now, where he feels comfortable in the because he definitely raps different in this 2018 and post than before.
Some rap songs to now.
Yeah,
it's definitely an era.
Because we grew up with the Doris and I don't like shit. I don't go outside era, where that was much more predictable kind of rap style.
Yeah. Still artistic and still a lot of deep shit he's talking about lyrically and stuff, but just not as off the wall flow wise and production wise. It's an interesting question because you can argue that he hasn't changed his flow up much from 2018, from some rap songs, but at the same time, do you really want him to? Do you I don't necessarily want him to I want him to progress, obviously, but if this is what he wants to do, I'm all for it. I love this kind of shit. I'm conflicted about whether
I think it took some time to get his fan base kind of used to this style.
But do you think his general fan base? I think we're all in agreement that we'll take whatever we can get from Earl and we're gonna probably enjoy it. But his general fan base, do you think they can take another album of these kind of flows, his kind of malaise kind of voice? Do you think he can keep this up and still keep it interesting?
I think people are just down for whatever, and I think that because I think he cranked it up to 11 straight off the bat with some rap songs. That is the most sort of off the wall. This,
it definitely it's a polarizing album that his fans probably that's where he probably intentionally did that so he could get a specific fan base that he actually wanted to cultivate.
Voir Dire is super tame in comparison to some rap songs in terms of flow and quirkiness and stuff like that.
I think the Alchemist production and some of the lyrics, some of the songs being closer to the street life and that side of hip hop, I think brings it down into a bit more of a relatable place than the some rap songs era.
Yeah.
It still is about mental health and his journey and his struggle, but he's a father now.
Yeah, he touches on similar themes, but also he's describing his growth at the same time and keeps it fresh.
But there's also songs that were made years ago that are on here, the one with him and Vince was apparently from 10 years ago or something.
Shit.
The Caliphate song was.
Damn, you could have fooled me because that's a new flow for him. That's not a new flow necessarily, but it seems like that would be in a post some rap songs kind of flow. But I mean it's a 5-year-old album, so it could have been before that. But
isn't that today or something like that?
What?
The anniversary.
Yeah, anniversary of some rap songs is today, November 30th.
Wow.
Yeah.
Real quick aside before we fully dive deeper into this album, when Josh and I were at the record store in Toronto the other day, Sonic Boom. I was going through there was a rarities bin of a bunch of different genres. I went through the hip hop. There was some cool shit. There was a Danny Brown Atrocity Exhibition that was super expensive, but it was very limited release apparently.
Oh,
a bunch of cool shit. And then I saw there was one that just said Costanza. I'm like, oh, what is this? And then I pull it out, and I'll put the picture up, and it's a picture of George Costanza in the style of some rap songs.
It's the blurry
for for $70 whatever. I'm like, what the fuck am I looking what is this? Is this just is this if I open this up, will this be some rap songs in here, or is this something completely different? Because in the hip hop section, and I went to the guy and I'm like, could you tell me what the hell I'm looking at? Can you search this up somehow and figure out? And he did. He took it all out and stuff. And apparently it's a what did he say it was?
It was vaporwave.
Yeah, vaporwave album. So just a completely nonsense kind of thing.
Oh, sick.
But I'm like, that's
Vaporwave is just instrumentals and
slow,
dreamy,
slowed down, stretched,
kind of dreamy, relaxing.
I was picturing the Shattered Dreams bit, but it's got Frank and Estelle Costanza yelling in the background,
if someone just remixed some rap songs
on the side.
Yeah, I think Josh was saying what if it's just an AI George Costanza rapping this shit? I'm I would get that immediately.
AI George Costanza doing some rap songs. It'd be so funny. The verses.
Yeah, just thinking about that.
Yeah. Somebody put effort into this and
this is the Seinfeld crossover that we need.
Yeah.
I pulled it out and I was saying to Josh, I'm like, I've never seen something that's more for me than this right now. Seinfeld and Earl, what are you talking about? Anyway, that was just a brief little aside of a funny thing.
Yeah.
But I kind of wanted to ask, I've been trying to kind of pin down what we're saying, what our opinions are on this, but so do you think that this new album is more accessible or understandable to a general audience than his previous albums?
It depends. Comparing it to some rap songs, I'd say yes. Especially over Alchemist beat and like the amount of like praise and acknowledgement that Alchemist has garnered over the years. Like I would assume get more listeners on here, or if like someone was a fan of the old Earl, got really into the Griselda kind of shit, sees there's an Alchemist Earl album, they might listen to it. But I'd say Sick is probably since the 2018 like kind of new era we're talking about is probably his most like. I
feel like Sick is a little bit easier to get into.
Yeah, because there's more like hard hitting trap kind of beats, and like there's a bunch of different kind of sounds for a bunch of different people.
Yeah,
like,
true.
Yeah. There's something in there for everybody. Whereas this one is definitely sort of like I don't want to say one note because that's like becoming like derogatory term, but like it is like for a specific group of people.
Yeah,
I do think that I feel like it's definitely more accessible than some rap songs, but because I fell in love with some rap songs, and like become like more fallen in love more with like sort of experimental hip hop music.
Yeah.
That because it's I don't want to sound like an elitist or something like that, but or at least that's what I come across as. But because it's more sort of not by the numbers, but like more predictable, I guess.
It's predictable for somebody who has a education in Alchemist.
For an Alchemist fan, like it's more predictable.
Like this is probably my 10th or 11th like new like Alchemist.
He's been on a
project that I've listened
run
to
the past
like
fucking
in the
4
last
years, whatever, 3 years.
Yeah, because I kind of because I've heard like many Alchemist stuff through his production and stuff like that, working with other people. I find that I loved some rap songs and the more experimental stuff now going forward because I don't know what to expect, and I'm like on the edge of my seat. I don't know what's coming next. This one I was like I knew what I was going to get into with this, where I wasn't surprised, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like I guess I don't want to say that's a bad thing because like sometimes you want to get into music. It's like I'm getting into music for this reason. It's like here's what I want them to do, and they did it.
Like, do you want to be challenged by this music?
Yes, exactly.
Or because I've heard this gave me some vibes from the Rock Marciano project I got really liked from last year.
Yeah,
with a lot of the like trippy piano beats and Alchemist's use of old 70s drums and
they're classic
strings and little guitar loops and stuff like that. That I'm kind of used to hearing. Yeah. So I feel like it went down a little bit smoother for me, maybe.
Right. I think overall it's another positive notch in his fucking discography, and he did like more of a. It's cool. He did more of like a maybe more down to earth kind of rap album versus Sick and Feet of Clay and some rap songs in this era. It's good that he was able to just kind of rap and do his thing, and Alchemist did his thing, and it came out as good as it did. So.
All right, you want to go track by track?
Let's stop pussyfooting around here.
That's what Earl's got to have a bar about that somewhere.
Pussyfooting? No, it's too
pussyfooting around.
Too juvenile for him.
I don't know. There's some juvenile bars in here.
There are some kind of funny bars. Yeah. All right, let's get it started in here. Let's get it started in 100 High Street, first track.
The only thing I wrote is just okay.
Okay.
As an opener.
I fuck with it. I think it serves as a good intro. Kind of
super nostalgic.
Yeah.
And then just starting with those strings, and then we get into like a simple like boom bap beat. Like we're talking roots of hip hop.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of spacey in its own way. Alchemist always puts like a spin on it, but
yeah, it starts off kind of nice and simple. Mm-hmm. He's still talking about weed, smoking weed. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he brings up a bunch of themes that he'll go through on this album, like resilience and growth and sleeping with death and all that kind of stuff, beating his demons. We've been kind of used to hearing on some of Earl's shit, but keeps it going, keeps it new, keeps it fresh.
There was one line that took me like a surprising amount of time to figure out, where he says something like, "We beat them like a cheesy joke, even though the freaking horse is dead."
Yeah.
And I was thinking, like, okay, there's like some kind of joke about a dead horse or something. Like, I was trying to figure it out. I'm like, oh wait, beating a dead horse? That's like, oh, it's like when you tell a lame joke and took me a minute.
Didn't have to think about that one too much. I thought you were gonna go with like, oh, like it's cheesy. Do horses make cheese when you beat them dead or something? Like, I thought you were gonna try to really go dig too deep into that one. But next one, Vince Scully.
That one early on, one of my favorites.
This one's pretty good. I don't have a star next to it just because it's a little. What did I have? The slippy delivery is a bit much, but I mean that's just kind of what. Kind of just got to get used to it.
Yeah. His verse, like the wordplay in it is great.
Yeah, a lot of baseball themes in the chorus and stuff.
Yeah, it's like there's like imagery of like I remember the ghost inside the crib, like that sort of visceral imagery of like it, like in Sick, where it's like like in the swamp where mosquitoes chomp ankles, like you get some visceral imagery of like seeing a ghost inside a crib and shit. And what else is there?
And it's
I didn't keep that ghost inside a crib, like a baby's crib, and not like I just thought
exactly ghost inside of a baby's crib.
Okay.
Like
oh, I was thinking more like back to the I don't like shit days, with the grief era, like the ghost
inside my crib. Yeah, it could be both. That's I mean, double entendre.
Yeah.
More français on the podcast.
Oui.
It's just got this jingly little guitar riff that gives it a lot of energy. It kind of gives it like a skateboarding vibe. I could picture a pretty cool montage for it. But yeah, it definitely drops some philosophy on it. Like,
not my favorite, but it's pretty good.
It's throughout the album he does. I mean, he says something about you got to start with a step, like growth and
a lot of like positive affirmation shit of just like here's what you got to do to get out of this. I've been through it. Like I'm telling you, like
how to stay afloat in a bottomless pit. The trick is to stop falling. The only option is to start with a step. And I also like the line of a couple side splitters got me out of some jams. I had to style a little so the killers could laugh. Like just like using humor to get out of a sort of tense situation. You know what I mean? You can use humor as a way to slip out, It's like ease, like you could cut the tension with a knife, but no, you just...
Or like laughter is the best medicine, to getting better. Which is why you should put on this podcast every time you want to kill yourself. Because you'll see how miserable we are, and you'll be like, oh, I don't have to make a... I don't want to make a podcast in my mother's basement, so I still got
if
stuff
these
going
people
on.
can still go at it,
yeah.
Maybe I can still...
It would be a disservice if I was dead and they were alive.
Yeah.
That's what I hope every audience member is thinking. Right now,
I gotta outlive these people.
Yeah, it's because they're so insufferable. Century with Mike, early favorite.
Yeah, that was great.
Very
too.
bar heavy, fucking super dense track. Good chemistry.
Yeah, I like how that one. Like at the beginning, he has a lot of. He kind of references other songs that he's said
the Fire
previously.
in the Hole.
Yeah,
Fire in the Hole. I like that flow where he says like, actually I started it. He's saying like that he started at the bottom kind of thing, but he's like, actually I started in the mid.
Actually, I started in Illinois.
Yeah.
Actually, I started in when he goes back to his like tribal, like his ancestral tribal roots.
Yeah,
it is crazy.
But it's also kind of a thing about saying all this cliche stuff about I came from the bottom up to, but like well obviously like if you're kind of like middle class, like you're not like on the actual bottom, like you have to kind of admit that you didn't you
talk your privilege.
You were given some things to to work with in your life. Not to denigrate anything that you made through, but just mentioning that, and then but also the double meaning of the mid, as in the Midwest, because he was born in Chicago.
It's really interesting to hear him right directly next to Mike, who is like people made when in some rap songs they made a lot of comparisons to him. And now it's cool to see them on a track together but they've made tracks together before, but it's just like another cool example to see that.
Yeah.
Like they definitely super camaraderie kind of.
Yeah, I think like while their voices are kind of similar, like the flows are different enough, and like Earl I think is generally like just I don't know, a better lyricist, but just like a more deep lyricist, whereas Mike is kind of more surface level shit. Still talking about real life shit, but like,
yeah, I mean,
you don't have to dig as deep into his shit.
I think Mike's a great writer as well.
Yeah, for sure. But comparing anyone to Earl is like, you'll be tough pressed to find.
I mean, I haven't listened to as many of his solo work.
I listen with Wiki and Elk. That's about it.
But he is pretty good. There's another thing I liked where that Earl said, I think, he said, like, memories careen out the past, halt me to a screech in they tracks. Kind of talking about self-reflection and how, you know, and kind of using this train metaphor. And that is really how memories come. They just kind of come into your head.
And then they'll leave,
It's out of nowhere.
And it's not like a book you keep putting another page on the thing. It's like things come and go.
Yep.
Something will randomly come up from 7 years ago.
Keep you up.
You know, your girlfriend will mention something from 6 months ago that she's still mad about.
Memory works crazy. Yeah. I want to give a special shout out to Freddie Hubbard Sing Through the Axe. Freddie Hubbard is a jazz trumpeter, I believe. He's like one of the pioneers of like bebop, like super fast, complex lines and stuff like that. Really pushed the boundaries for that. And it's not just a surface level, shout out Freddie Hubbard on the axe, you know.
Do people call trumpet the axe? I thought that was a guitar thing.
Yeah, but I guess it just works with the rhyme, I guess. But it goes deeper than that, because a couple lines earlier, he was like, he says, tough clay, all of it's red. That could actually, it's not only a reference to actual, you know, clay, like red clay being, you know, tough.
Yeah.
But also, you know, feet of clay. But also, there's a Freddie Hubbard song called Red Clay that is actually that's actually a pretty popular jazz standard. So, like, that's... It's not just
the human genius right here. Yeah, making genius analogies off the rip.
Wow.
Yeah.
And not like genius, you're really smart. I think you're quite dull overall. but as the website genius.
Yeah. I like, that's the thing. I was real proud of myself because I'm like, I went on to Genius see if anybody else got that line, and I'm like, nope.
That's always the best for like all these fucking idiots. Like,
how about a rapper named Josh the Dullard?
Something the Dullard would be pretty good. We should bring back Dullard as a insult and just a word.
No, I'm saying we reclaim it as a
positive
thing. You know.
Okay. What can you rhyme with Dullard though?
Dullard.
Watch what backwards group had a #1 Billboard for hit 8 weeks with the song Jump?
Crisscross.
Fat Boys. Oh wait, you're right, Crisscross. I can't tell which is which is which on the thing.
Alright, thanks for saving me out of that.
Alright, yeah, no worries. That's what the cards are there for.
Aborted bit that we just did there. Earl does a song where he keeps eating the gushers as the songs go on until his
mouth gets more full and
mumbling so much. But it's still crazy poetry, but you can't understand what he's saying.
Man, having gushers and fucking... This is giving me nostalgia right now. I feel like I could rap a super reflective Earl Sweatshirt type verse.
Dude, memories are careening off of my fucking...
careening off my ass, bro.
Pretty popular. Right. Million views. Red Clay. By Freddie Hubbard.
That's a good jazz corner catch there. From
I haven't had to use the jazz corner.
The only reason why it came out at the perfect time because like I just recently started like going into like big of a jazz fan as I like to say that I am. I only like really know like about a handful of actual songs like memorized. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, let me go through a bunch of like lists and stuff, like what are some like really popular jazz tunes that I can learn, and that was one of them. And I'm like, and then a couple like weeks later, I'm like, it comes up right away, you know, like
synchronicities, man. Synchronicities.
Yeah, perfect to use. Like when we were going record shopping, I'm like, over this past month, I've seen so many of these covers, like trying to learn.
Mm-hmm. See, that's what Earl Sweatshirt's for. People that are into obscure jazz.
Yeah,
you know?
And that's what Alchemist is for, really.
Yeah,
that's why I might be too surface level of a guy to even review this. You know, I'm struggling.
You're liking it more than I have been, you know, like.
No, I like it. I'm just saying I'm struggling to review it to a degree because it's like I don't have many nitpicks really.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Or you know,
little things to add. You know. Next song, Heat Check. Love the instrumentation here, like the 80s kind of synth sounding shit, like the drums is like super old school,
super
like
80s pop ballad.
Yeah, it's a very interesting production choice, but I fuck with it a
love
lot.
that. It's probably my favorite beat off of the album.
Same.
To me, it kind of gave like the waiting screen on like a late 80s like video game.
Yeah.
You're picking player 1 or player 2 kind of deal, and that's playing in the background.
I was like, oh, this is like, how's Earl gonna sound on this? This is gonna be really
but that's part of what I love about Alchemist albums is that a song will take me into a very specific it'll get my imagination going on a very specific piece of media that I may have consumed 60 years ago or whatever.
Not that old yet. A song a lot about like loyalty and fake friends and like keeping people out of your circle. Like, he has some pretty good bars about it here of caught a whiff of sidewinders slithering in the vine and listening his hissing like spinning vinyl, the cylindrical system of life, vicious cycles. Like, bro, come on.
Yeah, come on.
Can't fuck with him.
No, he can't.
He comes out as a strong anti 6ix9ine snitching.
It was weird to hear him just blatantly referencing 6ix9ine, like, because you wouldn't expect Earl to just name drop people. Like, even on Sick, when he's talking about like some of the Odd Future days and shit like that, he never actually, I guess Left Brain he mentioned or whatever, but like he rarely like actually speaks up about
it in his
So it's interesting to hear him just say 6ix9ine like that.
So direct.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he doesn't usually give his opinion on just any random.
Yeah. And the 6ix9ine shit's like been over.
Yeah.
Like he's
So
but
I feel like
who knows when they recorded this?
He did do his gang pretty dirty there when he snitched on them, got out of jail.
Yeah. I think it's like one of those things where it's like, now that enough time has passed, then it's not such a hot topic, I'm gonna speak up on this. By the way, just for the record,
or it could be like what Alex was saying, like if
could have been from a long time ago.
If a lot of these songs were kind of picked and shows from like a different times of when they collaborate and shit, like could be topical in that sense.
I think it's a very unique Earl song because it has a very uplifting vibe.
Yeah.
Despite being like him mentioning all the setbacks and all the like, it starts off him saying like, put my all in and I broke even, like all these, just the reality of life kind of things that he's kind of, he's almost giving lessons for his son on this album a lot, I think.
Yeah. Could be his own Awaken My Love in a sense of.
Well, I think it definitely gives him a new sense of what matters in life.
Yeah.
And reason to live, and that especially, I think, it has a different impact on me having listened to the Some Rap Songs thing and being kind of concerned about his mental health.
For sure.
So you can see where he comes from if you're a fan and you've been here along for this whole journey. But yeah, he's still kind of he has fun with the track too, and he has lines where he's kind of balling, and talking his shit and doing kind of sports metaphors.
Yeah.
The follow through was all in the wrist.
He'll sprinkle in all that shit. Like that's what makes it so great is that he'll have a little bit of all these things, mixed into one. It's not all just fucking depressing. It's not all just like flex shit. It's like it's a dichotomy.
Yeah,
it's all together. Moncala with Vince. I just think it's so great we're getting fucking Vince and Earl collabs again after all these fucking years, man.
Yeah.
From Hive to here.
Yeah.
Or even, if you want to mention EPAR, but that's a deep cut. That's a deep cut.
That's one that they would probably like us not to talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just blessed to hear them together again. On, especially on a great beat. And
it's a kind of gospel-y piano, like it's kind of a bright...
Like a Kanye beat.
Yeah.
It reminds me of the Everything I Am song.
Yeah.
It's really cool to hear, Earl, it sounds like, I know that there's, that whole, mini documentary about, the whole thing of Earl and Vince in the studio together and them talking about each other.
Yeah.
Those, early days. Earl said back then that, he always likes having Vince in the studio because it makes him try really hard.
Yeah.
And I can hear that in this song. He's going,
for sure.
you can hear, the passion in his voice. He's really trying...
Yeah,
hard. I think it becomes I think it creates one of the best verses on the album. I think.
Yeah, I think it's one of the better ones for sure. And even in the Goat Talk segment, he was like, one of the questions was like Goat freestyle, and Earl's like, oh, it's Vince Staples on Sway in the Morning, like easily.
Yeah, and after I saw that, I went and watched it.
I've been meaning to watch
great.
it because I only watched that interview like yesterday, 2 days ago.
Yeah,
because I've been meaning to do all that shit. But
what did you think about the Alchemist, not the producer, but the book reference?
I thought that was dope. Yeah, this whole stanza here is great. Found the flaws of my father, went and lost some appeal. I know it's long and uphill. I started jogging on him. No Santiago, I was already wind and water. Different novel, thicker lines of defense. Yeah, referencing Santiago, the main character in The Alchemist, a book I read like a few summers ago. One of those really spiritual, like, follow your dreams type, like, just let things happen, like, just be present, just be, you know, those kind of like self-motivational kind of books, but with an actual like good story and shit involved with it as well. They're making a movie. I'm excited about it.
Wow. Yeah, I heard that line and I thought it was about Carmen Santiago. Like,
where in the world is Carmen Santiago?
I mean, that could work. Wind and water, like, you know, you're traveling. Like,
yeah, I was like,
wind and water.
You know, maybe that was a second meaning. Okay,
hey, man,
another double entendre.
Genius it. Come on.
I looked at a bit at the Genius, and there was one bar that we're gonna get to eventually, where the Genius went off on the crazy theory, and I was sitting there reading this, going, "No."
Yeah, sometimes they get a little bit fucking over their heads.
Yeah.
Even when we were talking about the Drake album, I remember every song, like in the about section, would have like a whole fucking essay of like an intro paragraph and outro paragraph.
Rumors of this
like,
song first started in 2019.
Yeah, what all of this means and how it affects his whole life and shit. I'm like, bro, it's not that fucking deep, bro. It's an R&B Drake track. Like, come on. Yeah. But yeah, that's just our gripe with Genius.
I mean, I got a couple more gripes with Genius, but...
And yeah, that website fucking sucks.
There's so
fucking advertisements.
So many ads.
Yeah.
Did they do anything bad? Are they pro-Israel?
I don't know. Maybe. I know Logic.
Boycott Genius.
I know Logic hung out with the guy who made Genius, so...
Oh shit, that's not a good
Depending
sign.
on where you stand, it could be good or bad.
Where I stand on the divisive Logic issue.
Yeah. I like the bar here on the song as well. I recollect pain I had to author fresh, waiting out in the waves, foot on a colonizer neck. Thought that was hard. And yeah, Vince has a great verse too, but putting Vince and Earl back to back is like, come on, man. Like, Earl's just way deeper like that, you know. But Vince still, I still love this verse.
I think they both fit on this track, though.
For sure.
Yeah,
but it's not quite a Hive level Vince verse potentially.
Vince talks about philosophy and deep subjects as well.
He fits on the new Earl vibes. Really well.
But his music is always, focused a little bit more on the street gangsta stuff as well.
Yeah, I was worried about like, oh, is it just going to be way off? Is it gonna be Vince talking about street shit and then Earl just talking about some really poetic philosophical shit? But for this song, it worked really well. Next track, 27 Braids. I like the guitar bass kind of instrumentation.
Groovy beat.
Yeah, this is where he starts really talking about like the responsibility of fatherhood, and how kind of at first he was like kind of upset with it and shit, and then he was like,
I made my bed.
Yeah, I kind of just realized that you just have to do it, and like he was talking with his mother and said like, you'll never be alone, so like think about it like that, and he was talking about with Alk as well, like when his girl was pregnant, he was like, it kind of backed him into a corner of just like, oh shit, I have to like face all my problems now, and it was like a really good thing for him to do for his mental. So maybe not the best reason for having a child in the world, just to fix your mental state, but hey,
I think this is as good a time as any to announce. Yeah. I'm pregnant.
Oh shit!
I mean, I knew you couldn't fit into that hoodie, so I knew something was going on.
Something's happening down here, and it is
twins,
not a boy.
Treacherous twins. For sure. 3 twins. 3 twin bitches hopping up a jet ski. Yeah, that was another track that you could have skateboarded to, I think. I haven't really thought about that. Next time, for some reason, I was on a, because it has sort of a trancey. It starts off with more trancy mushrooms kind of Alchemist sounds that he likes to do. Yeah. Which, by the way, Alchemist did a great solo album called like The Trip or something or whatever, where he was like, take shrooms and listen to this. And when was that? When did that come out?
like last year or the year before or something like that.
Cool. Like, it was just like instrumentation? Like, was it?
Yeah, it's all instrumentation and like he uses samples and stuff like that. But it like goes on the whole hero's journey with you know, and it's he's capable of getting you high. Let's just say
that. I'm going through changes that I couldn't fathom, but growing pains lead to understanding. I'm no passenger on a plane, precious cargo in the cabin. My whole take on baggage just ain't the same.
Yeah, that was hard. Again, alluding to the whole fatherhood thing.
The whole father thing, and
just
like
growing and fucking being better.
Yeah, and being
for yourself,
like, you know,
and for others.
My whole take on baggage just ain't the same anymore. Referring to his kid.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like precious cargo in the cabin. You know.
Yeah.
And as well as, you know, like, I'm not just a passenger in this plane.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not, you know, like, I gotta take charge and do stuff. And like my whole take on baggage, as in like mental baggage, just ain't the same. It's like I gotta let go of some of this baggage in order to.
Yeah, I thought that
was really poetic and very apt for like all tied into a airplane metaphor. You know?
Yeah. No, yeah, I wrote that passage down as well. I like that a lot. Mm-hmm. Anything else on 27 Braids?
On some mature adult type vibes.
Yes, sir.
Mature adult.
That's what we're trying to be on next year at the podcast. 2024 is going to be super mature. No more graphic tees. Taking all these posters down, putting up fine art. It's going to be great.
I'm boring.
We were going to do that the next 21 Savage album that comes out.
Yeah.
We're going to go full adult.
Yeah, sweat, like turtlenecks, like, yeah. The whole thing, but he just hasn't dropped an album in fucking forever.
So we can't become adults until he releases a new album.
Exactly.
We're gonna have Cornish hens. We're gonna have Lords of Leapin'.
Sip on some wine, not Snoop Dogg wine, but like actual wine.
Non-rap branded affiliated food.
Can't be fucked. Should eat anything that isn't rap related.
I really like
this shit.
These are little Alchemist touches that I like, but the old movie,
all these outros, that are
sample
on a bunch of these songs.
Outro.
I'm still like kind of figuring out like how it plays into the song, if it means anything at all. Still thinking about that.
Yeah.
This one at the end of it was like a guy being. It was like some movie where people are like, "You think that you are God?
Yeah.
Well, you are not God."
Yeah.
But it's just like. I think I've explained this before, but I love how he uses stuff that I've never heard, but it kind of sounds like.
It's nostalgic in a weird way.
Yeah, just recordings from the past that have a certain eeriness. Yeah. And, but they could mean something, or they could just be random. You'll take time to figure it out. Maybe you'll never figure it out. The world is not smart enough for The Alchemist.
Yeah. Next song, Mac Deuce. I thought it was decent. Not too much to really say about it, at least on my end, but I think it's solid.
I really, really like the beat.
Yeah, like the piano. Alex, what'd you take out of this one? Anything me and Josh fucking
early favorite
missed?
For me?
Oh, yeah?
The piano. It's like some kind of electric-y sounding.
It's like I think it's electric piano.
I really liked it. Found patience and still couldn't sit around waiting. Mm-hmm. Good lyric. To be patient, but still not waiting around. Still be a go-getter.
Yeah, exactly.
But also to be a patient person at the same time.
It's a paradox.
Solid advice.
There was a bar that people were speculating was about Mac Miller.
I read that too, and I'm like, y'all are reaching. Like, just because the song has the word Mac in it, like. Yeah. I mean, I guess there was I can't remember what the exact bar was. If you pull it up, it was something about like couldn't save you from the.
Yeah,
shit,
from the.
But that could be about
from like the stress and the fame and stuff like that.
Yeah, it could be about anyone else.
Yeah, you know? I didn't really get that either. I thought I was like.
I think people are just wanting him to talk about it really because he hasn't much, and people are like, because people don't know what other people that he's lost in the rap game and shit, and in his family and stuff it's almost selfish to think it's about Mac without like I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it was about.
I think people
chasing fame and the snares that come from that, and but yeah, he says you was lost. I picked apart what amazed you. It was soft. I shut it off. We really on. Even that's kind of complicated to get into the meaning. Maybe you were thinking it's a reach.
I think it's a bit of a reach. It's not impossible, but I don't really know what Mac Deuce means either, really. Is that like Mac, like peace? Like, that could be like a like peace out Mac type of thing, like, or it could be. I thought deuces like some gun metaphors. I don't know. Is deuces guns? Is that? I don't know. I can't keep up.
Yeah, but I mean, it is interesting to think back to that era and how
for sure
Earl and Mac were both partaking in more of a reckless lifestyle.
Yeah.
You see
and
that
how Earl survived and Mac didn't, and that's just like the way that life
shakes out.
goes,
it does sting seeing like Vince and Earl making music still. I was like, oh man, if Mac was on this shit, or if Mac was on the last Vince album, or like, it's it always sucks thinking about it.
We could have got way more bangers.
Oh man,
you see it in the documentary that I mentioned before about Earl.
Is it Fader doc or something?
Talking about Earl. So there's Mac in the background, kind of goofing off with them.
Yeah.
Sirius Black.
Yeah. I think it's the beats fire, like kind of like a fairy tale type of like kind of beat, like with the woodwind shit. I think it's fire.
70s kind of soulful vibe.
Yeah. This is where it starts to, the songs start to blend together to me. You know, when one of my main criticisms was like it's an Alchemist project, so it's all sort of where it was Sick, it was like a bunch of different sounds. This one's sort of like it's one sort of consistent sound. This is where I find it to be like, okay, which one is this? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, where does one song end and the other begin again?
Right.
So that's probably my biggest takeaway from that song. It's not really my favorite.
Right. I like it quite a bit. I think the chorus is pretty solid. He mentions Rock Marciano at the beginning of the track.
He says I roll weed slow and I learn quickly.
Yeah, I thought that was good.
There's this one line. This was the line that people read a lot of meaning into. Used to be on bullshit, bugged out, and the drink was dulling the sharp feelings. But then people saw that line and they thought that he was saying shark feelings or something, and like that the dulling. That the shark
I read that shit. Yeah, someone did a whole fucking thing.
Yeah, they're like, well, if you think about it, shark fins.
It's actually a quadruple entendre.
Like, so
no, you just misheard.
He didn't say the word shark though. He said sharp.
Yeah,
yeah. It's probably and like
dulling sharp feeling.
Yeah, that makes
that is very. It's
more
very
sense.
kind of. It makes a lot of sense when you say shark feelings. Like dulling sharp feelings, drink alcohol.
Yeah. But then they had this whole theory about like, well, sharks, they can't smile.
Yeah. Yeah, I completely forgot. I read that. I'm like, what is this guy talking about? Oh man!
I mean, that did kind of make me a little sad though to think that sharks can't smile. But it's because that's all they care. They don't need to show emotion.
They have nothing to smile about.
Yeah,
and they said that basically sharks don't have emotions. They have it's behavior.
Fish don't have feelings.
Yeah, it's okay to eat fish because they don't have any feelings.
I mean, they'll feel it when you cut them open. When you catch them on a fucking line, they'll feel it, but like they're not gonna.
But that's just more of like a.
They're not gonna cry.
It's more of like a instinctual kind of like survival thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like a dolphin or whatever has like its own personality.
Isn't a fish.
Dolphins do have.
But neither is a shark. Though. Shark isn't fish either.
No, sharks are fish.
Sharks aren't fucking fish. There's no goddamn way sharks are fish.
If it's not a fish, then what is it? A fucking mammal? No, it's a fish.
No. I don't buy it. I don't fucking buy it. I don't know what the fuck it is.
I feel like I've seen this conversation somewhere else before.
What is it, a crustacean?
I mean, dolphin's a mammal, right?
Dolphin's a mammal.
Yeah.
But
so why wouldn't a shark be a mammal?
Because dolphins have to breathe air.
Dolphins have penises.
I'm sure sharks have penis. What about a whale?
Whales
have penises. Whales are mammals.
Whales are
so
mammals.
Why wouldn't a shark... If whales and... I'm sorry for this. If whales and dolphins are mammals, why wouldn't a shark be? It's in the same family.
Because whales and dolphins need to breathe air, whereas sharks don't.
There's some deep water whales that don't need to breathe air.
No, they just hold their breath for a long time.
They get up, and they get for air.
Like sperm whales go deep, and then but they eventually do have to come back up.
Sperm whales go deep.
Well, we'll never know, and I'm refusing to believe it, so I'll never know. Next track, Dead Zone.
But it says something about Earl Sweatshirt's fan base.
Yes.
The type of people that read into extremely.
Yeah.
I'd like to send this video to Earl Sweatshirt and ask him if he meant to say shark. Because it does happen sometimes when you're on this level of lyricism, where he'll say a word
and
in a weird way,
delivery as well.
But he'll intentionally say the word in a wrong way so that it might
mean different things.
Yeah, like which he's on that level, so it's not like people are completely out of left field, like going for reaches like that. But anyway, that track took me a while to kind of for it to kind of break into my brain a little bit. But I did like his chorus about the imagery around like a pond, and how like it's a pond of big fish. You got to jump in. No
fish
risk.
Imagery could have said shark.
You know what? No, we're building a case.
Yeah.
We're building a case for these fucking nerds on the internet.
I think that was kind of jittery, like that chorus was like, no risk, no reward. Like he was trying to...
It was a different kind of a flow.
Yeah.
Different inflections and shit, but I fucked with it.
Alright, we got 3 tracks left.
Alright, let's do it. We're an hour 5 in. Dead Zone, I fuck with the kind of piano string-led beat. A lot of great lyrics and imagery in this one.
Yeah, I actually think that the beat was actually pretty annoying. I actually did I did not like it. It's probably my least favorite beat.
Let me hear it again right quick.
It's like, it's just so like, it's just too repetitive as well. It's just like too like cartoony as well. It's a great like...
Yeah, I like it. I don't know.
It's just too repetitive. Like it's that same it's the same 2-bar loop like repeated over and over again. And
it's a loopy beat for sure.
Yeah,
but
it's a great,
I like it.
It's a great verse. I'm not gonna deny that. It's a great verse. I just don't like the beat. If it wasn't like if it wasn't for Earl saving it with his verses and stuff, I would not really like it at all. But yeah, there's some great bars on here as well. It's like. Was it Big Belly Buddha laughing at your stupid ass?
Yeah.
I thought that was great. And then he rhymes it immediately with Jumpin' Jehoshaphat.
Yeah.
Come on.
Which apparently is a reference to MF Doom or something?
Yeah, it's a Jumpin' Jehoshaphat. It's like apparently MF Doom used that bar before in one of his songs. I can't remember which one off the top of my head.
Dude, that line got me too, because real Christian heads know about the story of Jehoshaphat.
Yeah.
Was he a jumpy guy?
No.
Like, let me brew something.
No, the story is about how you got to surround yourself with good people.
Okay,
I think that's the moral of the story. I don't remember anything that happens.
Let's call up your mom or dad right now and ask him the story of Jesus.
You're on the podcast.
That would be hilarious.
Start calling up churches.
Yeah.
And just asking them about Jehoshaphat.
Yeah. And asking them one of the trivia questions at the end of the thing.
It was just such...
Jehoshaphat, more like your hoes are fat. Punk bitch.
Thank you. But yeah, like, it's one of the funniest names in the Bible, so, like, why not rap about it? I really like the whole kind of flirting with death concept. It was compelling, and I think it, I don't know, conveys a certain sense of danger, the song.
Yeah, for sure.
And, the subject matter.
Yeah.
It's it's cartoonishly villain. It's a very cartoon villain kind of like
MF Doom almost
like where I can imagine like the villain with like a cloak or something like cartoonishly sort of sneaking around, that kind of.
Yeah, it has like a 1920s movie kind of.
Yeah, that cartoony kind of like early like Mickey Mouse kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Next song, Caliphate, Vince Staples. They're on their fucking dark shit.
Wait, one more thing on Dead Zone.
Yes.
There is a Joe Biden reference bar.
There is, yeah. Yes. POTUS.
Popcorn was a bad dude.
I don't get that.
That was the clip where Joe Biden was rambling about how back in the old neighborhood there was a guy named Popcorn. He was one bad dude. You didn't want to like it just
good old Sleepy Joe.
Completely off his rocker.
Yeah. There was actually I think it was like a line about Blue Notes or something.
Yeah, it's POTUS Blue Notes.
POTUS Blue Notes, not standards. Another jazz reference.
Oh
actually.
My goodness!
Blue Notes is
2 jazz corners in one episode.
Notes, standards.
Blue Notes. Yeah. Blue Notes is the most popular jazz label of today. And it hosted so many like classic artists as well as modern stuff. Like they got Robert Glasper on there and shit, and Nora Jones as well. On Nora Jones and Robert Glasper, as well as like some classics, which I won't name drop because you guys won't know them. But that's not a flex, by the way. I'm just saying.
This guy's wearing an Outcast sweater.
I'm not going to waste your time, basically.
I don't know what from what
with it, but like it's the most prominent jazz label in like obviously standards and stuff like that.
More on jazz later.
Yes. Like, yes. I promise I'm not this annoying in real life. I'm only slightly.
Jazzcast coming up soon.
Jazzcast.
Next year. I'm saying we should switch genres of the whole podcast next year.
The thing is, I don't listen to actually that much straight ahead jazz. I listen to jazz influenced.
Just pretend pretend that you are. No one's gonna call you a fraud here.
Because they don't know anything about jazz, so they don't know enough to correct you.
You can just start making up random names.
Yeah.
I'll listen to, like,
Jimmy the jazz guy.
Yeah, I'll listen to Robert Glasper and Alchemist and Yusuf Days before I listen to the early jazz.
Yeah.
stuff,
Alchemist. We're trying to talk about Alchemist over here.
Come on.
Yeah.
Next song, Caliphate, Vince Staples.
Great to hear them together again.
Yep,
Another
glad we got
one.
two of them. This one's like a more classic, kind of like dark, gloomy Alchemist, like almost a Griselda type Alchemist beat if he were to do one.
A whole lot of gang shit on this one.
Yeah, a lot of gang fucking violence, crime, war talk. Love the trading bars.
They want to act like Costa Nostra now. That was a good one.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Yeah.
In here.
It's really interesting to hear Vince on this kind of beat with doing that kind of flow. It's very. I expected of Earl to do the off kilter kind of flow, but Vince was. I don't really listen to that much Vince lately, but so I don't really know. But like this.
Well, he's been on his Sleepy Delivery kind of shit as well the past few albums.
Okay.
But yeah, not as. Like, Remote Purple My Heart had like some pretty like kind of pop type songs like Magic and Lemonade and that one with Little Baby and shit. He still likes to play within the lines for the most part, but
this was the song that I thought they made like 10 years ago or something. That was.
It's possible.
It was supposed to be on a Vince Staples Alchemist tape.
That is a thing that I remember hearing about that. That I think a lot of it leaked like semi recently. I've been meaning to try to find it, but out of respect, I also kind of don't want to. But I don't know.
I don't think I don't think Earl really runs with a gang or so whatever, but
yeah, it's good that
he's
they're
kind
trying
of jumping into the character.
Yeah, they're in a similar wavelength. It's not just like kind of like how I was fearing about the other song and shit, like them just being in two different worlds and shit, talking about two different things. Like this one, they're like they're in the same.
There's a theme to it, and they stick to it, and they're all on the same page.
But it's not like Earl can't relate to the same topics of like loyalty and French, having your boys and. Like he was, in the Odd Future gang or whatever, and kind of had to put up with all kinds of bullshit and like figure out who he was through the process. So yeah, like they definitely they go back and forth, and it's probably one of the top songs.
Yeah, same.
I've
I
heard
listened
this
to
year.
this one a lot when it first came out.
Moving along,
last track. Free the Ruler. Strange choice to censor it.
Yeah.
Do you think it was a sample issue? It was like what was that? School Spirit by Kanye is censored because the person that cleared the sample was like, you can use it, but you can't swear on it. Do you think it's something like that, or do you think that was an artistic choice? Like,
I think so.
Yeah. I don't know.
I can't imagine it being an artistic choice because why not censor the whole thing?
And just like it just makes it just halts it a little bit. Like, it's not one of my favorite tracks because to me it's a bit of an underwhelming outro, and like the censoring does kind of like halt. It doesn't even curse that much in it, but it does kind of halt things and make it kind of just a little bit of a strange listen for an outro track.
It's like I listened to it, I'm like, I listened to it on YouTube, and I'm like, am I getting like the censored version? Is there an uncensored version? It's like, no.
I think on the original there might have been, but it also might have been a completely different track, so don't take my word for it. I don't know. But I like the overall, like, his verse of like he touches on the themes of the album about like family and his family tree and troubled past, alcohol, drug use, violence, all that kind of good fun stuff that we come to rap for.
Yeah, the folly of man. I found my father in my furtive glance.
That was fire.
I want to give a special shout out to this one line. I'm back cutting up a list of reasons I love my mother's laugh. The best one is that's just what it is. It's like. That's like a really nice. It's a cute, nice thing to say about your mom, but also it's a matter of you don't need a reason to like a definite reason to like something.
Yeah,
it's just like sometimes you can just like it. I know this is kind of defeats the whole point of having a podcast. To explain, why you like things, but sometimes you just like. I just like it because I like it. That's all. I need. You know what I mean? I don't need to have to justify a reason to like something, you know, or dislike something. That kind of like, I don't know. And with that, I retire from art critiquing at all.
Okay, there it is.
In general.
There it is.
I will never say another word about art.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta love your mom, right?
Yeah.
What are you, Eminem? Dude, I hate my mother's laugh.
It reminds me of my haunted past. I don't know.
Oh, shit.
Okay. Eminem type freestyle.
Yeah.
Nah, it's
At the end of this one.
not jittery and jagged enough.
Yeah. Have to be wearing
His mom
stupid
is
hats.
cool as fuck, though.
Yeah, she's like a university professor.
She does.
I remember I did in uni for, it must have been 4th year, you had to, like, make a presentation about, like, what has influenced your thesis, and I was just like, Earl Sweatshirt, man. And specifically because he had, like, a short film that came out with, I think it was some rap songs.
Oh, yeah. I'd like Nowhere to Go or something.
Yeah, and it was insane. It was so good, and it was like the style that I was trying to make for the thesis. And I was like, I just did a little bio of him, like, first things first. I was like, oh yeah, his mother is this person, his father is this person, and the prof, who's like just this white guy, just regular dude. He was like, oh, I didn't know that was like he knew the university, he knew the mom, but not Earl. And I'm like, oh, okay, I guess that's a whole. She's famous in her own right, I suppose.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, Earl, he's wise behind his ear.
Wise behind the ears could be a crazy bar.
Right, wise
Earl
behind
will give that
his
one
ears.
to you.
I'm sorry, but that jacket is just too baggy.
It's too fly is the word you're thinking of, I think. I'd rather be...
I'm so jealous.
I'd rather be baggy than the...
Okay, you want to do a clothes swap?
No!
Damn it.
You regretted it last time.
We'll talk about Brockhampton right fucking now so you can take that shit off.
We should do a pod where we just talk about bullshit the whole time, then just read off the list at the end.
At the very end.
This good, this
Alchemist,
bad, this all right.
See
you later.
Yeah, one of these days, like in December, we should just like meet up and like hang out and just like drink and like have fun, and just and then just like acknowledge the podcast once or twice, but then just like at the very end do some rap shit, and it'll be our most popular episode yet.
So there was our Earl breakdown.
Now it's time to break down mentally.
Yeah.
Because that was
And
a lot.
cry.
That was a lot of information. We're an hour 20 in, probably an hour 15, 10 by the time I'm finished cutting Alex out of it completely.
I feel like I just liked it. So like I didn't even have that much to say,
that's
you know?
the problem about
That's what I was saying before. Sometimes you don't need a reason to like things.
Drake we can go off on for hours about because there was so much stuff to talk about
so
how we
much
didn't
to
like.
hate.
Whereas something that's good, it's like, well, it's just good. I don't know. Like I just like it.
The best reason is that's just what it is.
Episode title.
That's just
We'll
what
get
it
12
is.
views.
Yeah. I guess I'm just learning that I'm a hater slowly but surely.
It's fun to hate.
But this next episode of the Rapcast is going to be all love.
And then the one after that will be hate.
Are we going to segue into Outcast or...
No, we'll do Brockhampton.
Okay. 'Cause I got some thoughts on the Andre 3K.
Unless you guys wanted to Andre 3K.
I got thoughts on both.
So. I mean, we'll just get Andre out of the way, because you listened to a bit of it on the way, but probably only 2 songs worth.
Yeah, I put it on, I was like, is this even it? Like...
Yeah, exactly.
It sounded like ambient, like video game like
That's the
music.
thing, is that like when I heard it, I was like, it's very pretty sounds, very very pretty sounds, but it lacks like personality. You know what I mean? And like Andre 3000's got one of the best personalities in popular culture.
He shows the personality with the song titles.
I know,
yeah.
I mean, we can already get that category out of the way here. If you're talking about best song titles of the year, it's between this and Scaring the Hose, easily.
Yeah.
I'm probably partial to the track The Night in Hawaii, when I turned into a panther and started making low register purring noises. That shit was wild. That one, because that one sounds like some panther shit. Some music a panther would listen to. I can picture a panther kind of stalking. And the one... 93 Till Infinity and Beyonce, like that's like a 3-minute song, so I'm like, okay, this one's like, alright. Like every time I pulled up the next song played, I'm like, it's another 13-minute fucking song.
It's good for a stroll in whatever place you find.
No, it was good because the first time I listened to this album was earlier today when I was walking some dogs, because I was like, it was 2 hours a block right there. I'm just gonna put on the fucking album, and I'm like sitting at the park, the sun's going through the trees. I'm sitting with a dog, and I'm like, yeah, this is. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying this.
It's the Zen vibe.
But I'm also never going to listen to this again.
Yeah.
Like, you know?
Yeah, what got on my nerves a little bit was that people were calling it a jazz album. And I'm like, it's not a jazz album.
What is it, ambient?
It's an ambient album.
Yeah.
With sort of jazzy kind of like flute kind of things. There's no standout songs, but there are some standout moments within the songs. In the second half of the last song,
I couldn't tell you even what that sounds like.
There's a little crescendo there that's pretty good.
I don't fucking know.
I love that moment.
Yeah.
Like how do you review this?
Yeah,
the thing is, I'm dying for any sort of change whatsoever.
Yeah.
And in these 17 minutes, I'm like, oh, there's a slight change there. Okay, that's the highlight. You know what I mean?
I wasn't even paying fucking attention at that point. I swear.
It's like you're a scientist observing some kind of like creature, and it's like, oh, I noticed it moving.
Yeah.
You're like,
write that down.
Write that down.
I really like the song. The slang word "pussy" rolls off the tongue with more ease than the proper word "vagina." Do you agree?
I love that. Do you agree at the end? It's so funny.
No, but like, I had it playing in the car, and like. That song was playing, which is the second track. I was 20 minutes into it at that point, and I just started singing to myself, "This the shit you play when you in a Bentley truck. This the shit you play when the strippers acting up."
on the shit.
Just because I was thinking about how much more I would like to be listening to Collie Grove right now.
It's a bit of a song. Man. My only hope is that it makes more rappers get out of their comfort zones and like do shit that they really want to do.
Well, yeah, I mean, speaking of rap, this album, I mean, it's under 2,000, so it's going to sell well.
Yeah.
Numbers aren't everything.
Yeah.
But this album first week sold 24,000 units.
Yeah.
So just this year alone, he outsold the Nas album, the Logic album, Ice Spice, Lil Wayne, Kodak Black, Ray Shremmerd, West Side Gun, French Montana. He outsold all these fucking prevalent rappers. So it's like
people are like,
man,
are these solely like these people are buying like CDs?
No, it's just not like a matter of listeners.
Units is
in terms of like streams and stuff.
Because I think every 1,000 streams or like every
is a unit or something?
No, not every 1,000 doesn't make sense. I think every some shit like that. I don't know. The way they count, the way the numbers work now, like you don't even.
Yeah.
No one's ever going to go platinum first week again. No one's ever like it's useless.
It's like owning stock in something. The numbers don't actually mean anything.
Back when people were buying shit, the numbers meant something, but now it just doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah. It also kind of like what got on my nerves a little bit was the fact that people are saying like, oh, this album is like transcending, like it made me transcend like reality. It's like this is such a brilliant album. It's like. People have been making this kind of music for a long time. We're just liking it because it's
a popular name is fucking mixed with it.
Because he's attached his name to it.
Yeah, I mean, if I took shrooms and listened to this shit, it would probably be great. But like,
yeah. I mean, I to be fair, I hope that people like listen to this and the people who do genuinely enjoy it go out and find more music like this and give more people in that genre a sort of like their flowers and their time of day because they deserve it.
Yeah.
And it expands people's music tastes and stuff like that. You know, I do genuinely hope that. It's just like some things where I'm just like after that hour and a half, I'm just like, I don't like. I know it's supposed to be calming, but I'm like,
I could have listened to something else. I get that. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
Is this even good by flute player standards? Like
I don't know. And I don't even think I'm gonna have this on any. Like if I were to have, like it would probably be in my bottom of the year just because I'm like it doesn't do anything for me. But like I can't even rank it like that. Like it's so completely not something that I would listen to. Where it's just like it's above reviewing. It's above talking about. It's above it's its own thing, man. Just be happy. Andre's happy and is doing his thing, and
he's got the artistic freedom to do whatever he wants at this point.
But it does suck that like a few days after the album came out, I saw on Reddit someone there was 2 Andre 3000 like rap leaks like from a few years ago where he like actually was trying to make a rap album. I haven't listened to them yet, but someone was like, "Oh, this sounds like some To Pimp a Butterfly shit," and I'm like, "Fuck, man! If we got like a To Pimp a Butterfly Andre 3000 album, I would have fucking creamed in my pantaloons about that shit."
Dude.
But be thankful for what you have and not for what you don't. So
yeah,
more maturity on the Rapcast for you.
We'll get an Andre rap album when we get a new Frank Ocean album.
Yikes!
In 30 years.
Yeah.
We'll get what we want as rap fans.
If Frank
Hungry
drops 30 years
fans.
from now, he can keep it. I don't want it. You know?
30 years?
Yeah, fuck you. If you wait
Keep it
30
at-
years to drop, I don't
years.
give a fuck. You know?
You
30 years
expect people to care?
You say
It's been
that. You
almost
say
10
that
years.
now.
I mean, 30 years, I could be into a completely different genre. Like, I could be dead. I could, you know?
Yeah.
Who knows where I'll be.
You'll be hosting the show with the guy from 100 Gex or something. You'll be replacing me.
Well, that's top of the agenda there. Josh, ask a question before we get into Brockhampton.
Okay.
Because we both ask questions here.
Okay. What influential independent record label founded by DJ Peanut Butter Wolf is responsible for albums by Aloe Block, J Dilla, and MF Doom?
Interscope?
Bad Boy.
Stone's Throw Records.
Oh, fuck, I don't
never
fucking
heard of
know,
that.
man. Yeah, I've heard of it, but I wouldn't be able to.
Yeah.
Wouldn't have thought of it.
I'm still gonna eat a gusher though.
Pass me to the gusher. That was pretty good.
Pass me the gusher.
I'm gushing.
Eat a gusher. Eat a gusher.
Well, let's talk about Kevin first before Josh has to walk out of the room. I've been gushing over the new Kevin project. I quite enjoy it.
I like it a lot. Yeah.
I was expecting not, because the singles that we got were like super rough and like super like one note, one dimensional, like instrumentally and like vocally and shit. And I was like, oh god, this is gonna be like a half-ass fucking like indie rock record, and I'm gonna not like it. But a lot of it is super catchy. It's super fun lyrically. It's cheeky. It's interesting. It's, you know, I think there's a lot to like about it.
I do
overall.
enjoy. I don't know where it ranks in terms of like rappers doing rock albums.
Yeah.
It probably ranks pretty high. I do genuinely really like it. I have a strong desire to
Some
come back,
notes.
keep coming back to it.
Yeah, there are a few duds for sure.
Yeah,
It's a little
for sure.
rough around the edges overall.
Yeah, definitely. But that's
But like, I
the-
think that helps add to it to an extent.
yeah, that's
too.
the like rock album. A lot of rock albums are rough around the edges. That's the
Yeah.
whole kind of like appeal of it. You know what I mean?
What did you think, Alex?
Yeah, I liked it. It definitely has a vibe. I definitely got into my sad boy shit on it a little bit. There's some good love songs. Some good choruses and melodies and stuff. It does kind of start to strain on me after a while.
It is a bit, yeah.
And
It's
on
a
the
bit
on the
one
last
note.
last half,
Yeah.
like you kind of are like, okay, this again, like.
Yeah.
But you know, it could be a pro and a con. The fact that the songs have a uniform sound to
Yeah.
them, it works in some sense, but it
Yeah.
doesn't. You know,
And I'm super
another
glad that,
sense.
like, because the last thing we got from Kevin, solo Kevin, I guess technically was The Family, and none of us were really hot on that one.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that it's like he doesn't even mention the group at all. He's completely doing his own thing now. Like, he's like not even alluding to it, at least from what I could tell. I didn't
trying
really
to
go into the
distance
lyrics really,
himself, yeah.
but I'm like, I'm just glad he's doing something new. He's trying something new. I'm like, this isn't like his best record, but like if he were to continue in this lane, I think he could make a really good record like in this vein. But overall, I find myself enjoying it, coming back to it.
Feels like he's kind of like, so like scorched earth, kind of like I'm gonna start over. And
Yeah.
It feels like, and it's very like. It sounds like something that off of like what was his first album, like American Boyfriend or something like that. It's
Yeah.
very like bare bones, like very sort of like amateur-ish.
Yeah,
Which I kind of like.
It's not the most out of left field because American Boyfriend like does have a lot of rock elements to it, but that one's like almost more fleshed out and like has a lot more grandiose instrumentals and
Yeah.
shit and like a lot more to it.
Yeah.
Whereas this is a lot more simple.
Yeah, it's getting back to his roots though.
Yeah, some of his vocal inflections and some of the lyrics are a little bit much, and like a lot of like those. Even in some of the love songs, even some of the songs that I do enjoy, there's some lyrics where it's like some high school like teeny bop shit,
Oh,
and I'm just like.
100%. Yeah.
Are you gonna not are you? That's mean. I don't want to say are you gonna grow up, but like, are you gonna like? Is there more you have to offer lyrically? Because he's been talking about these kind of themes since American Boyfriend. So it's like,
It can
what
be
else do you
very,
have to tap
yeah,
into?
it's very like sort of immature and like
Yeah.
teenage.
But I think that's probably what he's going for at the same time.
Yeah,
you know?
it's very sappy. There are some lines. There are some songs that are very sappy. But
Yeah.
To me, it's not really about the lyrics. It's about the music, because like a lot of, like in rock, that is like, it's not really about, the lyrics are just a part or less of a focus than the actual music itself.
The one lyric that stood out to me in not the best way was like, and when you sign my cast, I wish I broke both arms. Okay,
that's one where I was like, all right, this is Tyler the Creator, Igor.
Yeah. It's not the most original thing either.
I'm lovesick, I'm, but I kind of like him dealing with those kind of pathetic emotions.
He does it well enough.
I think he pulls it off, and like I don't think I ever actually listened to American Boyfriend, but I did hear.
There's some good. There's some bad stuff.
Arizona Baby.
Yeah,
is a pretty good.
I like that one quite a bit.
I think Arizona Baby is probably his strongest work.
Solo, I'd say so as well. And then
probably, you can't deny that he can write some good choruses sometimes.
Oh yeah, and that's why I like this album probably as much as I did, because like during the Saturation era, like his best attribute was the catchy, sticky choruses and the weirdly sung shit. And there's a lot of this on here that I'm like, okay, this reminds me of some of the old shit, even if it's in a different genre.
Yeah, even though like I can't imagine Brockhampton on this. He's like, there's like, and that's what I was hoping for at least for Kevin, is that doing something that he's not chasing the Brockhampton hype anymore. And this is what, like, he's doing his own thing, and I really respect it for that. And this was for him, you know.
Yeah.
And it's not for like, and it's because he's no longer on the label or whatever. He's not desperate. They're not pushing for a hit single or anything. You know, like,
is he not under RCA? I thought this album was RCA.
I don't think so. But you know, like, this is for him.
It is under RCA still, it says.
Yeah.
But it's under exclusive license from video stores, so he has his own thing he's doing. But like, I think it's still contractually.
It had a great first half, and
I think towards the latter half it kind of loses steam a bit. But to me, the first track, When the Rope Posts a Break, and I'm asking this to you specifically, Josh. Do you think the vocals remind you of like the inflection and just the way it sounds remind you of the lead singer of Silver Sun Pickups? Because I heard this and I'm like, this sounds like he's doing a Silver Sun Pickups kind of voice to me.
If Kevin said, I'm trying to do a Silver Sun Pickups, that would be fantastic. I would love that.
Did you get that though? Or did you
I did not get the vibes. I got it. I just got when I heard it. I got.
Well, I don't know about musically because I don't really listen to much of Silver Sun Pickups shit. But like it just sounded like the lead singer for a second.
Vocally, it's just sound. It didn't. Immediate thought wasn't that. Like now that you bring it up, it's like but when I first heard it, I'm like, this sounds like early Brockhampton.
Yeah.
This sounds like at least vocally, this sounds like early sort of like Saturation 1 and American Boyfriend kind of vibes. I also got more Gene Dawson vibes.
Yeah, for sure.
That more so than some.
And there was this whole thing.
There's a beef between the two of them.
There was a whole thing where there was like, because Gene Dawson was in his Discord being like, motherfuckers trying to copy my shit or whatever, and someone was like, oh, is this referring to so and so? Because I think there was some other artist that was doing this kind of similar kind of rock shit. I don't know. I don't remember who he was referring to, but it was like, no, it's about the Kevin shit. Like, but apparently they're tight, and like I didn't really fully look into the beef, but like apparently there was something there. So
apparently like people online have been comparing it a lot to an artist named Alex G.
People have been saying that, but I don't know.
I've never heard it. I've never heard Alex G before, so I can't really make any comparisons. The one thing I really want to mention, though, I just get my final thoughts on it. Apparently, there's this whole ARG and story about like a theme park or an arcade attached to the album.
This album?
To this album.
Okay.
Something tied, like if you go onto the website or something, like luckyedwards.com or something like that, goes over, it's like sort of like links to Kevin's website.
Yeah.
And then it gives a description of like, long ago, there was a place where kids from all over the world could gather to forget about their troubles and to like create memories of like playing games, and like that's where the imagery from like the stuffed toys and the music video. Like apparently it has a tie to that, and like there's this whole like, and there's a bunch of like music like little videos, short films and stuff like that he put out. Tie to it.
So there's a whole concept.
It's a whole concept.
All right, well, I'll definitely have to dive into it.
Yeah, I really want to. I don't really have the patience to dig into it right now, or the time.
On that first track, he does kind of this like the whisper rap.
He does it a little bit throughout, like some kind of whispery shit, kind of almost creepy.
But
in a way.
like, it kind of creeped me out, like the vibe of the first one.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like a bit of a horror kind of.
Yeah, well, I could tell with the cover, like the weird mask shit, which is like to me like atrocious cover. I wish he kept the one with him hugging the fucking dude. Like, that was such a more pleasing to look at cover and, like, way more interesting than just this fucking person that's wearing a mask.
Yeah, apparently that is Mr. Edwards.
Some liminal shit. Yeah.
Right. So there's more to this than I realized.
There's apparently a lot more to it.
I mean, just to go over some of the tracks that I fucked with. The intro's good, I thought.
Yeah, it was great.
Running Out was, like, more of a kind of a danceable kind of track in terms of the groove.
That's a great one, too.
Kind of more grungy shit.
One.
Grungy kind of vocals, like, kind of shouting.
That one, I was wondering, like, and on the next track, it kind of sounded like it was the voice of the 100 Gex person.
A little bit, yeah.
I didn't really catch that, but I'll have to listen for it.
A little bit, now that you mentioned it.
I'm sure. I wouldn't be surprised if there's some
maybe cause
writing credits,
like,
or there's some credits.
She was like producing lots of other artists' stuff and
right.
I know that
working with Kevin Abstract.
They work together.
I kind of thought maybe there was a connection there.
I like the Grays. Yeah, I like that one a bunch. Super catchy. Same with the next one, Voyager, catchy.
Yeah.
Like the kind of violin piano kind of the outro kind of fleshes the shit out. Madonna's I love that one. That's super fucking like summery and like I said catchy. Like I love that one.
So
One of the big standouts.
It does what rock. One of the strongest points of rock music for me is the way that it takes you places. And
it's like
it starts one place and it builds.
Yeah, and that song like sounds nostalgic to me, even though I've only heard it like a few times. Like it sounds like, oh man, like reflective
it sounds
track.
like a classic song. Mm-hmm. Voyager I liked a lot as well.
Yeah,
Madonna. Those are kind of like this kind of sweeter songs.
Yeah. Today I Gave Up was like more of a darker, slower one, but I did like enjoy that one as well.
It was very dream pop to me,
okay.
which is a good thing.
Dream pop, okay.
It's a good genre. I like it.
Yeah.
I did not like the Mr. Edwards thing.
I didn't like that one or Blanket, like the weird instrumental breaks. I'm just like, you don't really need it. It doesn't really add anything for me.
Yeah.
I mean, I get that it's more like the Mr. Edwards one is more like a hype moment maybe for the concerts or whatever, but it's just like musically it doesn't really.
I think it's more of like a therapeutic kind of. It might have to do something with the ARG as well, but for me it's more of like a therapeutic sort of like what rock does, like the instrumental sort of freak out jams, like at the end of like Nirvana shows or something like that, where they all smash their fucking instruments and shit. You know, that it's one of those moments.
Yeah, I could see it working for in a live setting, but
overall, every time I listened to this album, like I kind of got into it, but it also did like make me kind of genuinely feel like sad. Like
I don't get to like
I didn't have that much fun listening to it, but I was like, this is pretty good quality. Like this is giving me like. I am having a reaction to it, listening to it. It's not just passing through my brain.
Right. I didn't really peep much, or I didn't really have the same like emotional feeling towards it, but lost my train of thought.
Train break.
Train of thought break.
I will say, the last few tracks didn't really do it for me. Real to Me was okay. Heights and Spiders in the Dark was kind of one note. And
it was a reprise of Blanket actually. The chord progression.
And then My Friend with Kara Jackson. I didn't like the Kara Jackson vocal. I thought it was like not well sung.
To me, I thought that was it Death Cab for Cutie?
It's called My Friend. No, it's not the same guy.
Yeah, I thought it was the guy.
Yeah, I didn't like the outro at all, really.
I liked it.
I liked it. It was like a wholesome kind of.
It was a wholesome moment.
I guess. Yeah.
But I didn't think about it that hard.
Yeah, I listened to that one at the fucking dog park as well, and just made reactionary notes. But I'll go back to it. We'll see how it shakes out at the end of the year. I think at this point it might make honorable mention, if not higher. But it does have its problems. I do have tracks on it that I don't like, so we'll see how it shakes out. Yeah. Because the next episode is the only thing that fucking matters. All right, Alex is falling asleep here. We gotta keep hour 45. Let's go.
Okay.
Josh, do you want to be on camera for the next Brockhampton? We'll talk about Dom quick.
Okay.
Released the River song that we've talked about a little bit in the past on streaming. Really good track.
Very good track.
He's fucking teased us with a song Darling that was out on streaming for like a day and then took it off. And then he was on the Mike Shinoda, the rapper, or Shinoda, however you want to pronounce it, from Linkin Park song. What was that called? You played it like an hour ago, but
I was like, this could be a cool like UFC entrance song for somebody.
Yeah, it was hype. It was triumphant. It was cool to happen, but because I know like they're big fans. Like, he's really big fan of Linkin Park and all that kind of shit. But
I mean, Mike Shinoda messages you and says, "Give us a verse for the song." You're gonna say no.
Well, Mike Shinoda was actually doing a show at Coachella or something, like a solo one. He went to see Brockhampton afterwards because he really fucks with Brockhampton, and he like got to meet all the BH guys, and like a lot of them were saying like, "Oh man, we love Linkin Park. Like, grew up with your shit." Like, but Dom is like one of the only ones that he like still kind of mainly talks to. So. Bareface is fucking MIA. I don't fucking know.
He's an enigma.
Jabari, who fucking knows. And then you have Merlin Wood.
Merlin. Look,
do you want to fix the camera, or
do you want to be a part of this conversation?
Probably not.
Okay.
Because I haven't actually heard the album.
Like, why do you still even care about this? Like,
no, I don't really anymore.
Okay.
Because people have moved. Because everybody's moved on.
Right.
And because the reason why I cared so much is because other people cared a lot. You know, like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It's like it made me feel like I should care and like have an opinion on it.
I mean, like, I understand why you have a sense of loyalty to the other members of Brockhampton that you think were kind of wronged by Amir.
Yeah.
And I'm not like a huge Amir fan either, really.
Yeah.
But I think his stuff is at least interesting to hear, and you can't just. I'm not gonna throw out all of my Amir posters. I don't have Amir posters, but like, I think that he did have some great moments in the early, in the first two, Brockhampton, like the first two saturations. I thought he did have some great moments, and like he had his own distinctive style.
My main.
That being said, I don't think he's developed that much since then, being on a solo. Yeah. But anyway, sorry. What were you about to say?
No, it's just fine. I wanted you to get your thoughts off too. But
I want you guys to yell at each other. Come on.
My main sort of gripe with it was with that whole situation when it first happened was people were saying that Brockhampton is dead because he left. Like he was the only good thing about it. When I'm like which made me dig my heels in and say no. These other guys have so much more to offer. You're just like a fanboy who like just wants to stick with like the same old, you know, selling weed. You know, like that kind of like same, with the same flows. And, like the same shit. It's like these other guys have so much more to offer. It made me dig my heels in and like really stick by them more than I probably should have. You know what I mean?
But at the same time, like he did bring a certain level of like thugness. Pardon me being white and saying thugness. To Brockhampton, and like a certain level of like just like hardcore grimy rap shit. Where like when he left, it definitely was missing, at least for a time. I think members stepped up in their own way and they started making more music that was more so in the lines of what the remaining members wanted to make and what suited their abilities best. There's still some great rap songs, obviously, like in post-saturation trilogy, and some great rap performances.
But Amir wasn't just like the trap lord of the group either.
No,
he had a great verse on Milk, all about growing up, and like he had good observations there. But I think that him being in the group did cause him to like try harder on his verses a little bit, and listening to this new thing, like it just kind of like I had fun listening to it, but I don't take it as I don't rate it as highly artistically, and it comes off as more of like a SoundCloud.
It does really come off as more of like a mixtape kind of SoundCloud thing,
which I like. I like the era of old school SoundCloud, and like people to be kind of continuing on with that spirit. Or that energy is cool for its own thing. But I'm not like a huge Amir was right kind of guy.
Well, he was wrong for doing the things he did to the woman, assuming that is all still true. I haven't really kept up with anything happening there.
I'm pretty sure
I will say that someone during the release of this new tape, Slime on the Ice Machine with Amir Van Merlin Wood, someone in the comments was like, I can't believe what you did to Tom type shit, and Amir was like, all that shit's cap, none of that shit. Like he was saying that this shit didn't happen. So he wasn't saying that the sexual assault shit didn't happen, but he was saying that the Dom thing didn't happen, which is telling in a way. Right. I mean, fucking it's he said she said kind of thing, or he said, but it's another little fucking interesting little bookmark to fucking remember. And for what it's worth as well, Kevin tweeted and then deleted, as he usually does. He was tweeting, I'm happy for Amir and Merlin. So,
yeah. Well, it's kind of like an interesting thing to see the two of them team up a little bit. But
yeah, I didn't expect this coming at all.
I thought it was kind of cool, like, because, you know, during the Brockhampton boy band days, fitting all these different styles into one thing was always the struggle, the thing that made it difficult, but also, like, compelling in a way.
Yeah.
But now that it's over, we can see them spreading their wings and trying their own things. And Merlin, I think, always stuck out as he has his own crazy style that I want to hear what he can do by himself or with the help of the old friend Amir. And I think, like, his energy is probably better than... I kind of like his stuff better than Amir overall.
To me, I'm kind of like, I don't know, Amir's or Merlin's kind of like off-the-wall kind of shit, to me, didn't work as well. As much as, like, I come off as a hypocrite because I used to always say, oh, we should get more Merlin on some of these songs, like...
Now you don't want Merlin.
Now it's just, like, getting it every single song, like, where a song might not necessarily even need this type of energy is, like... I don't know, I just... conflicted.
It's like the opposite of, like, you don't know what you got till it's gone. You know what I mean? Like, you don't know what you're asking for until you get it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I get what you're saying. Yeah, it's kind of sloppy. It's not perfect, but I like the energy, and you know, it was an entertaining listen. I thought there was a couple of songs that I would come back to
for sure.
The intro track, Swisher.
They sound hungrier on that one. I like the kind of vocal inflections of, like, they go high pitched voice to low voice is a cool, like, juxtaposition. Hits well.
That's like a good one for the weed playlist.
Yeah.
You know, on some stupid shit, like, you know, fuck Earl Sweatshirt and being a mature adult who has, you know.
Yeah.
I'm on some...
Let's not learn from our mistakes.
Yeah. Just smoking weed. That's the only thing you need to solve all your problems, right?
I like the beat on the Smog Check quite a bit. It sounded like a kind of a more Brockhampton, like, boom bap kind of shit. Yeah.
One thing about these beats is that, like, I start to get really tired of the Kanye producer tags. Yeah. Every beat he has to do the...
Yeah, we understand that Kanye produced the whole thing. You don't have to do it every single time, you know?
Like...
I don't
think Kanye, are you fucking kidding me? Or what did this girl say?
I don't think Alk had a single Alchemist production sound thing on the fucking...
No, because you...
Voir Dire. Because you don't need to.
But, I mean, come on, we're comparing Kanye to the Alchemist.
Yeah,
but,
I'm sorry for even mentioning it, but...
It's these producer tags. You got to learn how to, like, you know, don't use them every single time. We already know that these songs were produced by.
Imagine if Alchemist had an Alchemist tag.
Alchemist.
He does have an Alchemist tag, but it's rarely used.
Yeah.
I like the song "Okay."
Well, Merlin has a Slavoj Zizek bar, which was pretty funny.
I don't understand what that is.
Just, I don't know. Look it up.
All right, you can't explain it to me.
This is a podcast where we explain our thoughts.
He's this Slovenian guy who's like a professor, who's kind of a public figure. He once debated Jordan Peterson.
Okay. All right.
On one of the most insane events in politics. Anyway. On Everything, kind of a drill beat sound.
Yeah, decent but kind of short.
I liked Amir's verse. But Merlin sounded kind of random to me. Yeah. But one thing Merlin did say, which I thought was interesting, about like selling his soul, like I didn't sell my soul kind of thing.
Yeah, because that was the whole thing where he accused Kevin of selling his soul after the Sugar video was like super crazy. Yeah. I think Kevin mentioned it on The Family briefly.
Satanist allegations? Question mark?
Enough with these allegations.
I know.
Kevin didn't do anything. The song "Okay" is one of the highlights for me because it's like a well-structured, good chorus, hard-hitting song. I will say Merlin is on thin ice for this bar. My money long, but it's not longer than my dick. Messy, messy, my little baby need a bib. Nah. You're not getting away with that one, Merlin. Sorry.
That was good, though.
But I thought their chemistry worked really well on that one.
I feel like Dennis Rodman. He is kind of the Dennis Rodman of the rap game in a way.
He's a bit of a weirdo.
He has a great... He said that the abolition bar, Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah.
So shout out to Miles for that one.
Come on. The next two tracks I didn't really like, Hit or Freaks. Didn't do it for me.
Oh, come on. Hit was one of the funniest tracks I've heard. It was on some funny, nasty, messed up boy.
I didn't mind the
shit.
back and forth shit. It's just a bit messy. Chorus is kind of weak, repetitive. What do you have? Justify it. What do you got written?
Well, first of all, it flipped the classic Mike Jones "Still Tippin'" song.
Yeah, I know. I recognize it. I didn't know what it was from, but
one of the classic kind of. That's what kind of the it's like this Southern Texas nostalgia that it brought back, which suits well to the style of Merlin and Amir.
Yeah.
You heard auto-tune Amir on that one.
Yeah, that was a bit weird to hear.
But I thought they were having a lot of fun with it, and I can't help it.
I guess
it made me laugh.
Yeah,
for sure.
I'll keep it on my phone.
Merlin said, "Told a bitch take a bath because you
Stinky. Get the fuck out of here with it, man. I mean, it's just some childish shit, but yeah, it's kind of fun, I guess. I don't know.
Way different. Like comparing this to Kevin Abstract.
Oh, it's
like
yeah, polar opposites. It's not a Drake
artistically, you would have to grade it way lower on the rubric, but like I had more fun listening to it,
Yeah.
But I would say that it is probably lower quality music overall. But, Freaky, I didn't like very much. That was not a good
just
one.
Sex Jam that was just kind of.
Bling Bling was the one that was like, to me that was the most Brockhampton.
Yeah, I like that one a lot. I like the back and forth spooky beat. Amir does mention I left my boy band like NSYNC. I don't know if he left, but I think there are like little like rumors of like how he did leave. Like it wasn't like it was obviously awkward and there were discussions made and it was really hard for them to figure out what to do after the allegations, and it was him that like left the tour bus and like kind of just left. Yeah. So it wasn't like a fucking everyone pointing fingers and being like you're out of here, buddy. Like I don't know if it was cut and paste like that, but no one will know except for the people in the room.
You gotta get your ass out of here, bud.
Yeah.
Yeah. They
I like
last
Merlin's
bus.
energy on Bling Bling as well, but
good verses on that track as well. I think Love Is a Scandal,
the kind of road runner type beat to me.
Oh yeah, I didn't think it fit that well in with these other tracks, but I did. Merlin got pretty political on his verse.
Lyrically pretty strong verse from Amir, and Amir surprisingly with the singing on this track and another one that I was like, oh shit, like, it's pretty good. Like
chorus for it, right?
They should have let him sing a little bit, maybe. Same with Matt Champion. Like Matt Champion has a great singing voice. They should let him sing more, but didn't really get the chance.
He was overshadowed by his other members.
Next track is another highlight of mine, Song 2. Pretty lavish beat, super introspective verses from both of them. Getting really into the fucking... It reminds me of like the Milk kind of song of like them really getting into like Merlin talking about his puking his guts out like the first year at school type shit, like, and how it wasn't working and all that kind of stuff. And Amir obviously still talking about the sins of his past and God forgiving him and all that kind of fun stuff.
Yeah. Amir hops on with his classic Amir flow, but he does a different kind of emotional performance on it that elevates it for sure. Like, he always does, I used to work for people. I used to do this. I used to da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
And now I'm the, like,
Yeah.
It gets a little predictable sometimes, but,
For what it is, it's not bad. I appreciate that we have it. It's not going to make any lists anytime soon, but, like, it's, it's interesting, and it's another little, like, it's good to see that, like, they're, that they're tight, I guess, and that, the relationship wasn't strained in that way because they've been friends since high school kind of thing,
Yeah.
The last song, Ride, I didn't really fuck with all that much. Like, the super low pitch down thing made for a kind of awkward outro. But yeah, I hope that Merlin put out an EP as well. So I hope that they keep coming out with shit and they keep progressing and trying to be better people and artists.
Wow.
Is key.
If only the whole world listened to you, where we would be.
I've been saying. This is the most mature podcast we've ever done, and you're wearing Luigi socks. Take them off.
Justin Trudeau, send Andrew to Israel. He could solve this shit in 20 minutes.
Pull up with all my fucking rap-related fits, and they'll be like, yo, that's kind of fire. And I'm like, can't we can all agree on something, right, guys? Come on.
Come on, everybody grow up here. Come on.
I'll just be blasting Voir Dire the whole time.
Listen to this.
Bombs going off. Christ.
Listen to what Earl's saying.
All right, I think Alex got another question for us here.
What producers' highlights include Fergie's Fergalicious,
Ooh.
Usher's OMG,
Ooh.
and his own group's I Got a Feeling alongside David Guetta?
Oh, Will I Am.
Yes.
Yeah. I was going to say Timbaland at first, but then when you said own group, I'm like, okay.
That last one gave it away.
Yeah.
Damn it. Alright, now you read me one.
Alright.
Some FAP songs?
Some faps. I think you found my sex playlist. I gotta rename my sex playlist to Some Fap Songs.
I'm gonna need a bigger dick for my pants.
I'm gonna need a bigger dick for my cohort. For my cohors.
For my cum whores.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna need a bigger dick for my cum whores. Trying to
I
make
can't
him
ask fucking shit, man. That's so bullshit. Oh my God.
Millionaire out of cum dogs.
out of cum rags.
Oh my God. That's what I hope the George Costanza fucking album would be. Just cum bars in the style of Earl.
Yeah.
What rap... Oh, wait.
Come on, dude. Are you fucking...
What rap legend's son has released songs titled Watch Me and Batman and toured with the rock group Fall Out Boy?
B.O.B.
Rick James. I don't know.
Jaden Smith.
Oh, of course.
Song Batman.
Oh.
That was a decent song.
I thought, famous rapper, because I'm thinking, like, it can't
what
be...
rap legend's son?
It can't be Jaden Smith, because
so
Will Smith isn't
Will
a rapper,
Smith.
but he is.
No, but the answer is Jaden. Or I guess the answer is Will Smith, but Jaden Smith's son. Well, I'll ask a different one.
Where'd you go to fucking trivia school?
Which economically minded track from Kendrick Lamar's To Pimp a Butterfly did Barack Obama call his favorite song in 2015?
How much a dollar cost?
Yeah, easily. Well, Alex said it first, so he gets the gusher.
I mean, how, like, it kind of it also gave it away economically.
I know, some of these are, they try to bait you a little bit.
Like, that just handed it to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome to Call Grove is... I think a very solid collab album from Lil Wayne 2 Chainz. I think it's probably better than the first one. What do you think about that statement?
I disagree. To me, Call Grove is such a classic.
To me, the production just aged pretty badly. Like I think there probably isn't a better song on this than Bounce from Call Grove 1. Like, it might have some of the higher highs, but like production-wise, it did not stand the test of time for me.
Collie Grove, to me, Bentley Truck was a classic from that one. Which other ones did I... Smell Like Money. Got a Lotta was a classic. Oh,
Got a Lotta was pretty good.
Blue C Note. Section.
Yeah, no, there's some great tracks.
Get the fuck out of my section.
And we'll see how Call Grove 2 stands, or Welcome to Call Grove stands the test of time, but I'm loving it for first few listens.
No, they definitely went more conceptual on this one, like it,
and it's more of a collab album because and there's more of a proper collab album because Call Grove 1 was to me more of a 2 Chainz album because there was a bunch of solo 2 Chainz songs on there. It wasn't Lil Wayne wasn't on every song. And if you get Lil Wayne on every single song, it's gonna be better to me.
Yeah.
But I'll go over some highlights real quick. G6 I think is a really great song.
Me too.
Pressure is a good fucking club anthem. Long Story Short, it's great, the kind of more introspective classic rap.
Big Diamonds. We got to see 2 Chainz do like. He was like yelling, like he was
aggressive. Yeah,
you got to hear him get real mad.
Yeah,
which you don't always see.
Yeah, I appreciated that. What do you think of Crazy Dick?
I mean, yeah, there were some great strip club anthems on here for the show.
I think it's pretty catchy one.
And I do love big butts and big boobs, so...
And he can't lie, so...
Yeah.
He can't lie.
Well, I would never lie about that.
Yeah. He would lie about all the gay sex he's having.
In fact, I tell everyone I meet.
Yeah.
By the way,
I love big butts and big boobs. Anyway, what's your name? Huh? Why are you running away from me?
Again.
Transparency with Usher was a decent like R&B kind of like slow jam kind of song. Pretty Pussy Award is a crazy concept for a song. I'm saying we should have our own song like fucking instead of Pretty Pussy Award, like Putrid Pussy Award, and we just have a bunch of...
It's like the Razzies.
Bunch of bars, how, like, her pussy looks like the Nasty Patty from SpongeBob or some shit, like, you know.
Pussy like
there's something in there.
Patty.
Something in there. But to me, the highlight's probably Oprah and Gail with Benny the Butcher. Just fucking rap clinic from all of them. They're fucking...
Yeah, that was...
Going off,
the
beat's
nuts.
insane.
And they actually got Oprah and Gail for the track, too. I couldn't believe that. They've really made it.
Yeah. I don't really remember much of the latter half of this one, if I'm being real. I like the Shame, the kind of Wu-Tang interpolation on that one. It was a pretty fun one.
Man, Vori showing up was so random.
That was random. I liked his section, but like it was like kind of like sectioned. It was like he had like a 30-45 second outro or intro, and then the song kind of just switched up to something different. So
Vori is just not a real artist to me. It's an insurance scam.
Yeah, probably. I love the song, the outro Moonlight as well. More of kind of introspective track, but each of them have their moments on here where they both steal the show. It maybe could have trimmed the fat a little bit. I appreciate the little sketch, like these little scenes with 50 Cent narrating, added a cool kind of context to the album. But overall, I'm loving it, and I hope everyone else out there is too.
I haven't given it... I need to give it more listens.
I listened to it maybe twice all the way through, but I've heard it a bunch on... I've been shuffling my fucking, like, new podcast playlist.
I've been mainly listening to Pressure.
I wasn't as crazy about Pressure at first, but I'm like, oh no, it's fire. Come on.
Like, that whistle beat, like, it's so stupidly good, you know?
Yeah, it's good. Real quick here, wrapping up some quick really quick things. Mustafa track. We didn't talk about the last time. Fantastic. I love it. It's so good. Really looking forward to new Mustafa. Shot the video. I don't know if you noticed, but he shot it by the fucking iFly over by Winston Churchill in like Saga.
Oh.
When the scenes of him on the motorcycle are like in that area, so I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But the song's fucking beautiful. His brother passed away this past summer from gang-related violence, and he's taking it pretty fucking hard, and it's coming out in the music in a really beautiful way. But it sucks that it took fucking brother passing to do it. Yeah. But he's been making great music though this whole time. So
the song is about Palestine as well.
Oh, for sure.
You know, did you do it in the name of God? Like, you know, is this your religion making you?
Yeah.
Do this.
Yeah, that'll be on the songs of the year for me probably. But I will shout out as well. New Sampha album.
I did listen to it one time.
I listened to it one time and I was like, this is good, but it's probably not for me. But I've kind of forced myself into... Me and Josh had this conversation a while back, is like, how many tries do you give an album to know if... to see if you're going to like it or not? And I've listened to the Sampha album a whole lot, and I really, really enjoy it. It's really beautiful. Poetry is great on here. The instrumentation kind of reminds me of, like, James Blake mixed with, like, some Mr. Morale type beat. You know, just in terms of, like, the kind of weird, like, production choices that Kendrick made on here, and Sampha was on that record as well.
Yeah, it was giving me James Blake as well.
I think both of you would really enjoy it. I know, Alex, you've listened to it. Josh, I think you would really like it.
Cool.
More singer-songwriter kind of vibe, but really, really good singer as well. So I've been bumping that a whole lot. I recommend it to anyone out there listening.
He has a very distinct voice.
Yeah, from London town. Kanye,
anti-Semitic, but I just fucked a Jewish bitch.
Boom, 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 boom.
I just fucked on Scooter's bitch.
I mean,
did you see him performing it in Dubai?
No.
With Lil Durk and Ty Dolla $ign?
Mm-mm.
Kanye performing at a club.
I stayed away. We'll see. I don't need it, but we'll see if this collab album comes out.
I thought
the chorus is good.
I like Kanye's verse, but the rest of the song I didn't like too much.
I liked everything but the Kanye verse somehow. I mean, it just sounds like he's not trying anymore. The whole "I just fucked you a Jewish bitch" like
he's just being provocative for the sake of provocative.
I don't know.
I mean, I thought it was funny.
I'm just finding it harder every day for me to like force myself to listen to new Kanye because I'm like, man, he's been lost it.
Wow.
Donda 2 was terrible. Donda was great, but like at this point, that was like 3 years ago.
Yeah. My whole attitude is just that I'm not going to let anyone try to destroy my fun, you know?
Yeah, no,
That's
fair. Yeah,
fair enough.
Yeah, I didn't hate the track. Like it's you know.
I obviously don't have the same reverence for the art as I did, like 4 years ago when it comes to Kanye, but
we'll keep.
I'm still listening.
You're still allowed
we'll
to
keep
like
an ear out.
Like an artist.
It's still
And-
better than your average.
Yeah,
I think
you can make the argument. And we'll keep in tune for that collab album that comes out at some point, and keep the Rapcast in your head top. Episode 58. Next time you'll see us, we'll be wrapping this motherfucking year up into a little fucking ball.
2024.
Swishing it.
Can you believe it?
2020 was 4
Josh,
years
ask
ago.
us one more question from that thing before we sign off
Okay.
here. Better be a fucking good one.
Pick one that we don't know.
What is the best Rapcast? Fuck it. I was gonna do a whole plug, and then I fucking ruined it. by
What is the
saying
best
answer.
Rapcast episode?
What was the best podcast in the game?
The Rapcast.
What's our best episode? Drake Sus Bars?
Yeah.
Like our best overall, like, fucking wall-to-wall, like, good banger episode, you know?
Oh man, that's tough.
Not this
I would
one.
say, like,
Oh, I had fun.
I like Lil Yachty type beat.
Well, the ITP was a good one.
That was a good one.
The one-
Summer special. These past two summer specials I thought were great.
The one where we
Yeah,
did the MGK freestyle.
Our Halloween one.
The Halloween one was good too.
Halloween one where we worked really hard on that special. was
Hey,
good.
we have a lot of good stuff out there, so go check it out and suck my cockhead while you're at it, audience.
Mama's very own disgrace, curiosity peaking. I'm playing God with faith. Load a single bullet, 5 shots, or on my heaven's gate. St. Peter better just save me a plate. This has got you thinking, is this real or is this some bait? And if you